I'm wondering if you could comment on the unprofessional behavior as well as elaborate.
We certainly welcome diverse viewpoints in this room, which is one of the reasons we have you in here. And there's many new faces in this room in comparison to the previous administrations.
The real title that I call it, the No More Walking on Eggshells policy.
They were Pentagon employees who leaked against their boss to news agencies in this room.
2 people have been found to be leaking.
There's a new jaw-dropping story about Pete Hegseth's incompetence and recklessness.
Sources say Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is said to have shared sensitive details about the strike in Yemen targeting Houthis in a second Signal group chat on March 15th that included his wife and brother, among others.
There's also brand new reporting that Hegseth had a special internet line set up in his office to use the Signal app.
This information reportedly shared is essentially the same attack plans he posted in a separate Signal chat that included the editor of The Atlantic. But unlike that chat, this one was created by Secretary Hegseth, and he reportedly used his private phone rather than his government one to access that chat.
Yesterday, we learned that Hegseth had an unsecured internet line installed in his Pentagon office, so he could continue to use the commercial messaging app Signal.
Here's the goal.
Basically, what Pete Hegseth did was choose convenience over cybersecurity.
The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, is here. And she's saying this: deep state criminals, and she puts them on notice, referring to 2 alleged leakers of classified info, a third on its way.
We are not going to tolerate individuals who leak to the mainstream media, particularly when it comes to sensitive information.
What they consist of is essentially very selective leaks to their friends in the propaganda media that twist and manipulate intelligence directly to undermine the president's policies.
That's why we've seen a smear campaign against the Secretary of Defense.
We also know that Hegseth has used his personal cell phone, which I gotta stress in the government is like a real no-no. Hegseth's personal phone number was easily accessible on the internet and public apps.
He texted the flight plans of American fighter jets and when they are going to take off to strike Yemen.
Does that third person know that you're zeroing in on them?
I don't know if they know.
There's 0% chance that someone hasn't tried to install Pegasus or some other spyware on his phone.
It's called zero-click technology, where you don't even have to open any. All you have to do for it to grab is you don't have to open anything. It will just see you.
Day one, all of this stuff. Like, you really can't emphasize enough how much of a breach this would be if you were low level.
There are complaints made for certain reasons that can't be verified that end people's career.
You need to be able to communicate in real time, rapidly, with people at your level in a secure location. Thanks to the Chinese infiltrating just about everything under the Biden administration, everyone was told to use the Signal app.
I hear it all the time.
What is the protocol for the administration about using the Signal app?
It's very simple, obviously. We have official, secure means of communication, whether it's email or phone. That is the preferred method of communication. If, for example, someone is traveling, they're on the road.
Which happens all the time.
Which obviously we're not all locked to our desks, which is a good thing.
Say you receive a bad evaluation, well, file a military EO complaint. It's nonsense.
Let me reiterate, the president stands strongly behind Secretary Hegseth and the change that he is bringing to the Pentagon.
Of course.
Was Jake Sullivan and former Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, were they communicating that way?
I have been told by people who have firsthand experience, they communicated prolifically and in great detail using the Signal app.
There's also just a culture issue that we're reporting on today that he's creating at the Pentagon, acting erratic, yelling. Here's just one example. When he learned about the leak of the second Signal chat, Hegseth screamed at the acting chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, saying he will effing polygraph him to find out if he leaked the information about the meeting.
And the results that he's achieved thus far speak for themselves.
Empower leaders to make tough decisions.
The staff is now focused on building an aura around Hegseth by pushing out videos of his memo signings and early morning workouts, causing fears from current and former defense officials that some of the less photo-worthy events could face delays.
An FBI investigation into the leaks, so is the FBI investigating?
You'd have to ask the FBI.
I've had employees come and talk to me and say they were expected to spend half of their day within the intelligence community focused on DEI work. So if you can imagine.
Enforce standards and restore good order and discipline, otherwise known as no more walking on eggshells. This is an important one. Proud to sign it.